Hello everyone, happy announcement day, happy Stranger Things day. That's right, it's official. Stranger Things season 4 is coming to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando and Hollywood in 2023. So in last week's rumors video, I told you guys if I was a betting woman that I would be right back here talking about Stranger Things. And here I am, a week later, we're talking Stranger Things season 4, officially announced for Halloween Horror Nights 32, and I am so excited about it. But not only did we have a Stranger Things announcement today, we also had a very big morning, and if I look a little tired, it's because I am. It's because I've been up since 7 in the morning, because we also had frequent fear passes go on sale. We have a lot to discuss with frequent fear passes, extra dates that were added to those passes, and Stranger Things. Let's get into it. So if you are new here, hi, I am Liz. I'm a diehard Halloween Horror Nights and haunt in general fan. I cover all of the Halloween Horror Nights rumors, news, speculation, and vlogs once the events start. Plus I try to visit the other local Central Florida haunts, including Howl-O-Scream and Sir Henry's, my favorite local haunt. So if you love Halloween, if you love haunts, make sure to subscribe. Before we dive into the main event, Stranger Things, let's talk about those frequent fear passes that went on sale this morning. If you know me, you know I am not a morning person. I am a night owl. I stay up as late as I possibly can get away with, and I sleep in as late as I can possibly get away with, which these days, not as late as I would like. Regardless, there was a pact among the RIP tour guides that if tickets went on sale first thing in the morning, someone would call and wake up Liz. So that led to a whole thing this morning of Lizzie wake up, which turned out to be very appropriate for the day. I did in fact wake up. I did in fact buy my frequent fear pass for 2023, and the prices were steep. I was expecting a rise in ticket prices because they always do, but I wasn't quite expecting as high as they went. Across the board, we saw about a $50 increase for regular tickets and about a $100 increase for Express Pass tickets. I ended up going for the Frequent Fear Pass Plus with Express, and that was actually a step down. I've done the Ultimate the past 2 years, but decided I did not get my use out of it last year, so I was going to do Frequent Fear Pass Plus, thinking I was going to be saving some money. But with the price hikes, what I paid for today for the Frequent Fear Pass Plus was about the same as what I paid for the Ultimate 2 years ago. So the prices are going high. I mean, I guess it's just a sign of the times. Everything in theme park land is rising right now, but I still had a little bit of sticker shock over seeing the prices and the tax added in my cart and saying goodbye as I threw my cash at Universal. So if you bought your tickets today, leave me a comment down below. Let me know which type of pass you went for. I will do a whole guide to everything you need to know if this is your first time going to the event later on in the season, so stay tuned for that. But for now, if you were a diehard, you already know what these tickets mean, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you chose for the season. But within those tickets, we also got a confirmation of a rumor that's been circulating that we were going to have extra Halloween Horror Nights date. You saw me tweet this yesterday. That's what I was hinting at, that yes, we went from a scheduled 44 nights of Halloween Horror Nights with the event ending on Halloween night, October 31st, to 48 nights of the event. Now the event is going to run an additional 4 nights, including November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and ending on November 4th. So this shifted tickets a little bit because a lot of us were expecting the final weekend to be the weekend right before Halloween, and now it's in November. Rush of Fear is a little different now because it doesn't run the whole month of September. It's shaking some things up for people, and I hope that all of you were able to resolve your issues that came about from that. Personally, I'm excited to have it run through the first weekend of November because a chance for cold weather, and I love cold weather at Horror Nights, and plus I just personally like to spend Halloween at home. We have a lot of trick-or-treaters here. I'm looking forward to getting to partake in that and enjoy my spooks the following weekend. And then just a little while later, we got the announcement all of us were waiting for, and that is Stranger Things season 4 is coming to Halloween Horror Nights. As a huge fan of the show, I cannot wait. I actually have the camera angled poorly right now, but if it was a little higher, you can see I've got a Stranger Things Pop Funko display right here. I love this series. Now, before I dive into my thoughts about this house, the series, history of Stranger Things at Halloween Horror Nights, let's talk about the press release and what we learned for a fact will be in this year's house. All right, we're gonna have a little story time with Liz, so get comfy. Let's read this press release directly from Universal. So it says, this year's petrifying haunted house will once again transport guests to Hawkins, Indiana, where they will encounter the newest supernatural villain, Vecna, who is hell-bent on obliterating the volatile barrier between the eerie upside down and the real world in an attempt to reign supreme. The Stranger Things haunted house mirrors the mind-bending twists and supernatural terror of season 4, immersing guests in a heart-pounding experience alongside valiant characters from the series, including Eleven, Max, Eddie, and more. Guests will find themselves on the front line of Vecna's deadly attacks on the citizens of Hawkins while traveling through iconic scenes, including the notorious Hawkins Lab, the enigmatic Creel House, and Vecna's chilling mindscape. Along the way, guests will confront their deepest fears and come face to face with otherworldly creatures like demo bats and even Vecna himself. In a race against the clock, guests find themselves in the ultimate showdown with Vecna's blood-red mind lair, striving to escape and save mankind from his deadly curse. We've got demo bats. We've got the Creel House. We've got Vecna's mind lair, Hawkins Lab. There's just so much in here. There's so much in this season that has potential to be used. There's just so many iconic scenes in this show that felt like they were begging for a haunted house. I do note in the press release, it doesn't mention any of the Russian scenery, which I'm totally fine with. I don't think we need to try to jump back and forth between Hawkins and Russia like they did in the show. I think they can just stick with Hawkins. There's plenty of material. If we don't hear Running Up That Hill, I'm gonna riot. I want to hear Running Up the Hill, and I want to hear the Journey song, what it's Separate Ways, but the Stranger Things remix. I need both of those. If I do not get those, I will be so sad. I know music rights are hard, but fingers crossed. Before I get too excited about talking about everything I want to see in the house, let's rewind just a little bit and talk about the history of Stranger Things at Halloween Horror Nights and what we should expect for this year. The first time we saw Stranger Things appear at Halloween Horror Nights was HHN28 in 2018. This was one of the most popular, if not the most popular, haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights I have ever seen. Wait times went above 3 hours. People could not wait to see this house. They were trying to wait to the end of the night to get in line, and the house would still be open sometimes at 3:30 or 4 in the morning because the line was just that long, to the point where Universal had to change how they operated closing in order to get the actors out at some sort of reasonable time. The first house was a huge success for Halloween Horror Nights. I do believe it kind of broke Halloween Horror Nights that year. It broke Stay and Scream. We're still seeing a lot of additional crowds at Halloween Horror Nights that we had not seen to this level before Stranger Things. It had a huge impact on the event in 2018. In a way, rightfully so. That 2018 house was gorgeous. I thought it's one of the best IP houses that they've done. It's the only time I've walked out of a house feeling emotional based on sets and not because I was saying goodbye to actor friends on closing night or something like that. I walked out of the house the first time and I didn't cry, but I felt like I could have because it was so true to the show, and I really did feel like I just walked through the scenes of one of my favorite shows. First house, so well done, amazing, loved it. And then 2019 happened and we got Stranger Things Part 2 and 3. I absolutely adore Stranger Things Season 3 and I could not wait to see it at Halloween Horror Nights. I thought all of the mall scenes, Starcourt Mall, thought all of that was going to translate well, but unfortunately the majority of the house, I would say 75% of the house, focused on Season 2 and the tunnels of Season 2, and then we got a little snippet of Season 3 at the end of the house. I think a lot of people were disappointed in it, especially with how amazing the first house was, and I should note that the first house was so popular that they opened it during the day so that day guests could just walk through it to see it, because that's how much people wanted to see this house. The second one also had a lot of static figures, which is not Halloween Horror Nights MO. That's not what they usually do in houses. It's usually not just standing there like a mannequin. Part of me wonders if they did that because of the previous year and the demand, and knowing that they couldn't fill this house with enough actors, staff the house based on the previous time. Maybe that's just the design choice they went for, but either way, I would say critically panned by the fans. I know a lot of general public were also disappointed for waiting a really long time and then not really loving the house. All of that said, we've had a few years away from Stranger Things now, and not only that, but season 4 was made for a haunted house. I firmly believe this is going to be a wonderful house. I think the show was set up with scenery that can work, that can translate into a house. Vecna is terrifying. There's so much iconic scenes, iconic music, iconic settings that I really think this might be one of the best IP houses that Halloween Horror Nights has ever done. I am also very hopeful that our facade is the Creel house, because we know this is going to be in a soundstage. There's only one spot for this house and it has to be a soundstage, and I can just picture us walking into the soundstage, seeing the Creel house there in front of us, all dilapidated like how they walk into it at the end of the series. So spooky and creepy, and maybe separate ways playing as you walk in. It does say it sounds like we're gonna end in the mind layer. So start in the Creel house, end in the mind layer. I can't wait to see what they do. I don't want to overhype myself, but I am very excited for it. Fingers crossed, guys, because I want to love it so badly, and I know a lot of you out there are excited for it. So what do you guys think? Are you as pumped as I am about seeing Stranger Things 4 coming to Halloween Horror Nights? I know a lot of you guys wanted it. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are and tell me what scene you most want to see in this house. That's where we're at. We have 3 houses now announced, a month and a half away from the event. There are still 7 houses to go. There are still technically 5 scare zones to go. The rumor map said 4, but the video we got today said 5. Sounds like we're still having 5 scare zones. We've got extra dates. Frequent fear passes are on sale. So there's still a lot of information out there that we do not know. If I were a betting woman, we'll go back to that. If I were a betting woman, John Murdy, who is the head of Halloween Horror Nights for Hollywood, has tweeted recently, "People have been asking when our presentation Midsummer Scream will be. It's July 30th at 4:30 p.m. closing out the show. Definitely going to announce a house live. Definitely going to show some behind the scenes stuff no one has seen yet. Definitely won't leak anything else." John Murdy has told us that he is going to announce a house for Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood on July 30th. So that means there is a possibility that we get a dual house announcement on July 30th. It's a Sunday, which is kind of weird for Orlando, but if so, I would expect it to be either Exorcist, if that's happening, or Universal Monsters, because those I think are supposed to happen at both parks. So if so, maybe we could get another announcement piggybacking off Hollywood. Otherwise, I don't think we're getting anything till August. So fingers crossed for John Murdy's presentation to be for both Hollywood and Orlando. I also still have my fingers crossed that we're gonna hear something more from Dr. Oddfellow, because it seemed like we were gonna hear more from him and we have not yet. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Hopefully you'll be seeing me back here very soon. I'm crossing my fingers that as we get through mid-July, we'll just keep getting news and more information, and I'll have more things to chat with you guys about. So until then, stay safe and stay spooky. Bye.